Hey everybody, this is Dust for Stone Gaming with episode 7, match number 5, with Arclight Phoenix in Modern. Been an interesting subset of matches so far this league. Played a couple Jund decks, played Esper Polymorph tokens, and played humans. So not decks we've run into previously, at least not terribly much with this archetype. The Jund matchups we split 1-1. Humans, we our Thing in the Ice got answered both times, and we kind of died. And Polymorph, we had a chance to win the matchup, but I didn't account for Polymorph being the blue splash in our tokens deck, so we got surprised by an Emrakul in Game 2 when we were otherwise in a pretty good winning position. Match 3 against the Jund deck, I didn't do Tarmogoyf math, and my Lightning Axe didn't kill one of my opponent's Tarmogoyfs. Instead, it made it bigger by discarding an Arclight Phoenix because there was no creatures, surprisingly, already in the graveyard. So, moral of the story, the little things sometimes in Magic are very, very important. So, I mean, obviously I like this hand. And with that, we're going to keep. So, guess I lead on looting on 1. Hope to hit a second land so we can Morphos into a bunch of crap next turn. Alright, so Faithless Looting. Pitch that, and a Crackling Drake? Nah, that can't be right. Gut shot for now. So, 18 cards in our deck. Terramander and Crackling Drake. Get back Arclight. Not quite sure what our opponent's doing. Xanathir Pod, perhaps? Devotion. So, you need to kill this Voyaging Satyr because leave that on top. Kill this Voyaging Satyr. These things on the ices aren't terrible here. Another Voyaging Satyr. Scour myself. Let's hit another land here. Alright, opponent could have a bunch of mana here, so Primal Command would be exceedingly annoying here. Put them to what, 14? Feels like a Primal Command. Oh, Gurk. Alright. is your play? Wistful Selkie. Alright. So, do this thing. It's unfortunate, but as long as our opponent doesn't do anything too dumb here. We're just supposed to... Are we supposed to kill Garrick, or are we supposed to kill them? I mean, if we get Emrakul here, we're really going to hate our lives, but... 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're one short of a tooth and nail entwined here. Alright, so... Devotion with Summoning Trap. Voyaging Satyr. No recent decks. Alright. So. Huh. No. No. Quickly becomes a dead card. A Braid maybe is like a hedge? Go down like 2 copies of Opt. Just to bring in a hedge against their Mana Dorks and something like Damping Sphere. Painless Blue Source is a nice one. Anamorphose, I guess we keep that one. Kind of like a freebie when we're going off. Dampening Sphere, of course. Kind of expected that one to come in all honesty. So we're looking for a Braid, pretty much. Didn't really want to bend that thing in the ice there. devotion count down here. So primal command feels like a multi-mode primal command. What you got over there, friend? Creature do you go get? Eternal Witness? Yep. So we get to break that up with surgical extraction. Let them target it with it first. Sure. Let's try that one. Get this losing. Come on, where's my phoenixes at? It's mildly obnoxious. Our opponents suspect a, so our opponents suspect surgical? 4 mana. Thrun's just an obnoxious little piece of work, isn't he? Alright, so don't have that many cards in our deck. You think we'd find one of these eventually. So, Faithless Looting. Do this. Cast another Faithless Looting. How many... Terramander. Nope. Just, no combat this turn. Not seeing a single Phoenix in the top 33 cards of our deck. Sure. Seems reasonable. Sure. Go getting what? Basic Forest. Alright. Blow that up. Faithless Looting. Pitch. That one and that one. Let's see what the heck you're working with over there. That's 3 Dampening Spheres. Let's nail a Primal Command here. See what you are exactly working with over there. Worm Coil Engine, Elder Scale Worm. Alrighty then. And then... just a bunch of nonsense. Craterhoof, Behemoth, Summoning Traps. That's why they wanted the extra land back. What does Vigor do? At that damage. Alright. So one thing in the ice is in the graveyard. Guessing your next play is Elder Scale Worm. 7, 8, 10. One thing. Interesting. It's kind of risky, isn't it? Take the damage. So that's 8 damage in the air currently. Serum Visions. That's is that lethal? 5, 11, 14. So damage could be. So do I looting here? Use that to adapt here. So far we've gone Metamorphose, Supervisions. Can't quite kill them, and that Elder Scale Worm is going to come down next turn and mean we probably can't win the game. Yep, it goes to 7. Need to find another thing in the ice. We sort of found a thing in the ice, but I think the damage might be done. Alright. Presuming this is Worm Coil. Alright, that's going to make it more difficult to win this game. Just these two. Yep, we're one spell off, so that's unfortunate. Alright, so our opponent with the nifty nonsense. Do we bring in Shatterstorm is the question. Maybe Chandra. They really didn't have any 1-mana elves, so these gut shots are almost kind of nonsense. Bring in Beacon Bolt. We have 60 cards in our deck currently. Alright, so let's try to beat down Big Green here. It's like they were playing around Surgical Extraction too, which is kind of frustrating. Obviously, Blood Moon always shuts down Nykthos. That's not really worth it here. fast aggro hand, pretty much. This hand kind of does the thing. Plus we have a copy of a Braid, which is fine. Terry would have been a lot more interesting last turn. So I'd be surprised if they like drop Damping Sphere here. Yep. Go ahead and bolt them. But something seconding Dampening Sphere here would be quite obnoxious. God bless America. Land that I love. How I hate that card. It kind of matters, but in the end it kind of really doesn't either. So 1, 2. Seriously, there's only 2 in the graveyard? It's kind of obnoxious. Blue, red, red. Alright, I mean... Harmonize, sure. Thing in the ice kind of doesn't matter. So... deal you a lot of damage this turn. Is next turn lethal? Guess if they have Primal Command, it's not quite lethal here. Sure. But that actually costs you a mana this turn, so I don't know if that actually helps. Thrun, sure. So put you to 7. Which is currently cost to activate. 3 in a blue. So doing this reduces that cost by X, and then you're dead. And 2 in a blue. And you are dead, friend. Alright, so we got the 2-3 against Devotion there, or Summoning Trap, or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely a Devotion-based deck. So, like I mentioned, there were 2 mistakes that I made throughout the course of action, one against Jund and one against not recognizing what the blue splash for was out of the tokens deck with Polymorph. So if those 2 mistakes would have been corrected, we might have been able to go 4-1 there. So it's always important that as you're playing decks, you don't just look at the results, but you also look at the results in terms of what happened, what actually went wrong, and what mistakes you might have made, or what different lines you could have taken. Obviously, Arclight Phoenix is a very good deck, but it is very requires tight play on your sequencing and such. So the fact that we missed out the fact that Tarmogoyf grew because we pitched the Arclight Phoenix cost us one game against Jun, which therefore cost us the match. And then Polymorph, not recognizing Polymorph, definitely cost us. Humans, they answered Thing in the Ice with a Reflector Mage both times. That kind of cost us both games against them. The first game against Jun was close and tight. Blood Moon obviously came in handy against Jund. That one game we won in the second set against Jund. Deck seems pretty solid. I mean, Ross knows what he's doing with the deck. He's been one of the forerunners of creating the deck or bringing the deck to prominence. So, yeah. Not much else to say other than, gotta watch your play, make sure you're making tight play at all times if you want to win. But obviously we made some mistakes. Hopefully next time we'll improve on our result and on our sequencing. But this has been us for this one game. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.